Since day one, he has had his share of the program, are claiming that it all began. It didn't sit well when Ms. Reporter said that Kirk was a washed-up spouse who only remained relevant due to Rasheeda's achievements. It was a ticking time bomb ready to go off when Kirk, who had spent years creating his own reputation, refused to allow someone like me to be insulted. According to reports, the argument began with some expletive words, but as emotions increased, so did the violence. Kirk, the proud veteran, was always there. With his back against the wall, he was being disparaged by fans of the Love and Hip Hop series, who accused him of not adding anything new to the program and even of attempting to create fictitious feuds in order to remain relevant, which was made worse by the fact that Mendeecees had been outspoken about how Kirk's previous turmoil was taking center stage. And this was the height of insult for someone like Kirk. He couldn't let it go and had the audacity to remark, "I'm holding the show back from a guy." Kirk apparently raged to his fellow cast members after being released from jail. Before being picked up by Yandy, he was hardly important. What did Kirk do? Challenged Mendeecees by himself behind the scenes. When they met backstage, the scenario was set up for a violent confrontation that nobody could have predicted. What began as a contentious discussion over the show's direction and each of their responsibilities within it, breaking glass everywhere. Break up the fight, but it was too late. As soon as the battle started, everything was recorded on video and prepared for posting. Videos of the brawl were posted online for everyone to see in a matter of minutes, and social media users were shocked since this was unusual. The whole world was watching, and fans swiftly took sides, with some supporting Kirk and claiming that Mendeecees had no business. Ruined the whole brand, and the producers were concerned about the optics. They couldn't just ignore this like other on-set altercations. This one was too heated, too violent, and too destructive. The altercation was captured on video, and now by the end of the evening, it was evident that Kirk and I had been sacked and placed on a blacklist, putting the whole franchise in jeopardy. An emergency meeting was convened. Out of the picture, and the producer's name, trust, and whole image of Love and Hip Hop were at stake. It was no longer simply about the fight. We're concerned about fan outrage to legal action and the potential for the battle to spark other problems that no one was prepared to take on. Kirk and Mendeecees were prohibited from future Love and Hip Hop recordings in a decision that shocked the industry. Two of the most well-known personalities in reality TV were abruptly fired and given no second chances. However, the question remained, was it really the end for them, or would they manage to return? This wasn't only a narrative about two guys fighting on set. It was about respect, power, and ego. Kirk Frost, the self-described king of hip-hop and love, wasn't going to let this go uncontested. He wasn't going down without a fight for his reputation and Mendeecees. He was resolved to demonstrate that the program couldn't just discard him. But was it too late? Had the harm already been done? Time would tell, but the repercussions of Kirk and M's raging confrontation was nothing short of spectacular. The reality TV industry was completely upended. Not only did the iconic altercation at the after-show recording result in smashed glass and broken chairs, but fans couldn't stop talking about it. Utterly destroyed, these two reality TV stars meticulously crafted personas. Yet while the audience were still trying to put together the mayhem, the executives at Love and Hip Hop quickly realized the gravity of the situation after seeing the true war just getting started behind the scenes. This was a serious scandal that was much too frank and hazardous to be allowed to continue unchallenged behind closed doors. The executives were almost instantly. Videos of the brawl went viral as people tried to figure out how to manage the fallout from all that had transpired. Flooded social media, and followers were sharing their thoughts. The internet was split, with some people claiming that Kirk had every right to protect his heritage. Some contended that Mendeecees was justified in defending himself, but there was little doubt that the battle had gone in his favor. One unnamed production team insider told us how the execs were rushing this beyond what Love and Hip Hop could broadcast for entertainment value. Was the worst-case scenario scarier? We've had fights on set before, but this time it was genuine and deadly. Drama is something that people adore, but this wasn't the kind of drama we can ignore. This was something that might ruin a career, and the consequences were more important than the argument that followed. Legal issues were suddenly front and center. There were worries about litigation, possible damages, and even the possibility that the production would be investigated. Firm be held accountable for allowing this conduct to continue. The love and hip-hop industry's image had long been based on turmoil, but there had been a crossing of the line that nobody on the network was prepared to overlook. Therefore, it was decided to blacklist Kirk and Mendeecees, preventing them from making any additional appearances or using any cameras, observing their every action. There were no more plots. They were done. But Kirk and Mendeecees weren't about the love and hip-hop executives making their choices to sleep well. The next morning, Kirk was pacing his living room in an attempt to comprehend the news, thinking, "This isn't real, this can't be happening. I've been with love and hip-hop from the beginning, and I created this program because they need me." But Rasheeda always has the soothing voice of reason, saw the writing on the wall, and knew that this day was coming. "Kirk, you crossed the line by touching him, and now that it's out, there's no returning from this." Kirk wasn't listening to him. This wasn't only a battle, it was about his history as one of the greatest hip-hop and love artists for years, and now they were dismissing him as if he were nothing. His name was a bad word for the program, and his abrupt and dramatic departure, he was caught talking nasty while traveling across the nation, and it seemed like a betrayal. They can't simply do this, they own me. They can't just delete my past like that. Mendeecees and Yandy were seated in his living room when he got the same call, and his body stiffened up instantly. "No, this is some __," he said. Yandy, who had always been the voice of reason in this situation. "But I lost it. I've been through too much to let this be the end. They need me on this program." Their bond wasn't as strong because she understood how the business operated. "You've been on the program for years, guys, and they've decided it's over." Mendeecees was devastated because he always believed that he was vital to the play and that this couldn't be the end of the tale for us. Even though Kirk and Mendeecees were fuming with rage and fury at the idea of being cast aside so quickly, they knew one thing for certain: we're not going to accept this without a struggle. Within hours of learning that both guys had attorneys on the phone, they refused to allow this happen. Mendeecees was resolved to find out whether he could file a wrongful termination lawsuit since he felt deceived by the same show that had given him the firing, and they were going to fight it. According to reports, he informed his counsel, "Fame and fortune aren't just about a fight. This is about respect and my legacy. They can't just push me." Apart from this, Kirk was thinking more broadly and wasn't just focused on his profession in hip-hop and love. He was also worried about his "if they think I'm simply going to vanish, they've got a whole brand, an empire," and he wasn't about to let it all fall apart over one mistake. But as the days passed, he allegedly told a pal, "I built my name, and I'm not going to let them erase me from reality TV history." Became more clear that Kirk and Mendeecees' battle would not be as simple as they had imagined, since the industry was allegedly working against them, or circulating that they were being completely banned from reality TV, and nobody wanted to interfere with their previously prosperous professions in the field. According to many reports, TV was now on the verge of going out of business since no network wanted to risk Kirk and Mendeecees' dispute because it had created